Welcome along to the transfer show. Dharmesh Chef and Michael Bridger here with the best transfer lines. Right, let's get straight to the topic that's been at the centre of this window. Arsenal's need for a striker. Mikel Arteta, when asked the question yet again, was at his most defiant yet.
Obviously, there's so much noise outside the club. Arsenal need to sign a forward, Arsenal need to sign a forward. And I know we sound like broken records when we ask you about that, but you clearly don't share that same sentiment. Do you think it is essential that you sign a forward, or would you be very happy with...
Sorry, I don't share what?
The same sentiment that you have to sign a forward this month? Or do you?
Have I ever said no to a striker?
No, but you don't feel it's a necessity, do you?
How do you say that?
You do feel it's a necessity?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, I'm saying so many people outside the club seem to think that Arsenal have to sign a forward this month.
So what is my opinion?
Yes.
That's what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, my opinion is clear. We lost two very, very important players, Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus. So we lack goals, we lack people, we lack options in the front line. It's clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you think it's essential that you have to bring in forward then in the next...
If we can get the right player, that's what we are actively looking at it. Yeah. Any player, no. Someone that makes us better and has an impact in the team. It's clearly that for the period that we lost them, ideally, we need some help because we were very short already and we're even shorter.
And is there work going on at the moment to have you identified targets?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Dharmesh, what's the latest with their search for a striker?
I mean, judging by what Mikel Arteta said there, clearly they want to bring in a forward. They've got injury problems. He's mentioned Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Jesus, particularly out for the long term. And they're working really hard in these final days to try and make that happen. There is that chance that it might not happen, though, for Arsenal, because he wants to bring in not only a forward, but the right forward for Arsenal. Now, there has been a long-term interest in RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko, but RB Leipzig have said he's not for sale. They don't want to sell him. They're under no pressure to sell. He signed a new contract until 2029. Yes, they're out of the Champions League, but they're still fighting to get into the Champions League for next season. And they also have an interest in the Wolves forward, Matheus Cunha. Again, Wolves under no pressure to sell. He's still under contract until 2027. There is another contract offer on the table which hasn't been signed yet. And unsurprisingly, Vitor Pereira, the Wolves head coach, was asked the question about Matheus Cunha, and this was his response.
He knows what I want from him as a captain. We had a conversation and everything is solid. He's ready for the game, committed with us and ready to help the team.
He's also been linked to a few other clubs. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest have their eye on him. Have there been any offers or bids for him at all?
I don't know. This is a question for the club. You know, he's my player. I think he's not for sale. This is the information from the club, and he's committed with us.
How much do you want him to stay at the club?
It's important, very important for us.
Right, I'm going to play a game with you. I want to show you some numbers, and I want you to tell me their significance. Right, let's have a look at these.
Love games.
Arsenal signings under Mikel Arteta. Those numbers. Tell you what. Let's show you what they mean.
More of a bullseye, man.
Let's put them in.
I was just about to say that.
Wow.
So, he signed 7 goalkeepers, 11 defenders, 12 midfielders, 2 strikers. Dharmesh, discuss.
Yeah, I mean, numbers can say a lot of things, but you've also got to look at how Mikel Arteta wants to play and the style of play that he wants to do. There is that issue that in his time, 4 strikers have actually left the club in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Alexandre Lacazette, Folarin Balogun and Eddie Nketiah, but for differing reasons. The Aubameyang one was clearly a changing culture as far as Mikel Arteta was concerned. He needed to change everything around the club. He wasn't happy with some of the behaviour, if you like, of Aubameyang. Lacazette was coming towards the end of his contract in his 30s, so it was time to move on from that. Whereas Balogun and Nketiah, you could say, yes, they can form part of Arsenal's squad, but maybe not part of his first team as such. And players like Balogun and Nketiah at their age wanted first team football. So in that way, you could say, has it been neglected? Yes and no. But then last season, you could argue that Arsenal, they scored 91 goals in the Premier League last season. So was the furore about do we need a striker as big as it is now?
Sorry, Darms is being very nice about Arsenal. 7 goalkeepers, 2 strikers. Is that neglect?
Do you know what? I would probably flip it and say Ramsdale, Raya, success. When he inherited the squad he took over, Mikel Arteta, that defence needed some serious work. I've just written down here, Timber, Gabriel, Benjamin White. Upgrades. Midfielder, first one that comes to mind for me is Declan Rice. Supreme upgrade. Big money, but real upgrade. So I'd probably, yeah. I mean, as Darmish says, they didn't seem to have an issue in terms of scoring the goals last season. Also, this is a question for everyone here as well. Is a striker the hardest position to find real success in terms of the transfer market? You're seeing clubs now trying to get a striker. Clubs are struggling to find a striker at the moment. Is it potentially the hardest position on the field to get a striker that's real success?
That, for me, is very interesting. All right, let's move on from Arsenal.